What's up guys, Metalshop TV here. Today we are in Prague and I'm sitting here with Tom from Hellyeah. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Well, you are currently on tour with Korn and Hellyeah. Are you a fan of those bands?
Yeah. Been friends with Korn for many years and loved their records from very first album up until the very latest record, and just got to know the Heaven Shall Burn band, and they're really nice guys. Good band.
Well, I think this is your first or second show in Czech Republic. So, do you now concentrate on countries where you are maybe not so well known? I
think we have to concentrate on everywhere that we're not well known. You know, it's a good opportunity for us to be here with Korn, putting us in front of so many people. That's the prime way of touring and getting exposure. There's big shows over here, and the festivals too.
Well, right now I would like to go through your discography, and I would like to know your opinions on your very own records. Sure. Because I guess the time can change your reflection on them or something. Sure has. Okay, so let's start with the debut album. Yep. What are your memories about that album? Was it that a hard album to make since it was the first time you were working together?
No, there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of energy. We kind of didn't know what we were going to do, and we went to Dallas, Texas, and met with Vinny, and everybody got together, and we went to Dime's house, to their studio, and just made that record in 17 days. You know, it was just a lot of energy. We were very happy. We were excited, and I love that first record. The first record is pure and organic, and there's no. It's very off the cuff. Kind of just didn't really put too much thought into writing. You know, we just kind of exploded, and that's what I love about that record. I'm very fond of it. Very fond of it. Although we don't get to play much of those songs, we have so many songs now.
Okay, so let's continue with Stampede. I guess there was a record where you went more for a cowboy thing.
Well, that's not my choice. I was. That record is not my favorite album. In fact, I don't even like that album. I think it's out of focus. I think that whole cowboy metal, whatever party thing was, you know, an exact replica of what we were doing. We were just partying a lot at that time, and just out of focus. And I really don't have much to say about it other than I'm glad that we don't play anything from it. You know, it's a time that I'd like to. I mean, we did it, and it's there, and we can't take it back. I mean, I'm sure I speak for myself, not for everybody else, but it's not my favorite record. And the one after that, Band of Brothers, is kind of the same for me. I didn't really like it that much.
But I guess that was the time when you changed a bit in direction.
I mean, there was a little bit
like heavier. Maybe?
A little bit. I mean, I had a few songs on there that that were like War and Me was kind of like the direction I wanted to take. Yeah. More, you know, fist fighting and just playing hard, and still though, it still wasn't right, you know. And then after that record, that's kind of when the band was going through a lot of turmoil actually with our previous members, Greg and Bob. And when we parted ways with them, it was just myself, Chad, and Vinny. And we went in and leaned on each other and got in with our producer, Kevin, and did Blood for Blood. And
that was like your second beginning.
That was it to me. That is exactly what I wanted to do from start to finish. And it was kind of, it's like a second beginning. It was like almost like our first record all over again. And the dynamics were there, the heaviness was there, the subtleties were there, the ups and downs with songs like Moth and Hush, you know, and then you had, you know, Say When and Blood for Blood, Demons, and just great record, you know, and I'm very proud of that. And then we got Kyle and Christian into the band after the record was done, and really became a tighter band. After that, we became a better band when they came in. They're serious, badass musicians, great. And we're all great friends, you know, and that's how bands should be. You should all love each other like brothers. Yeah. It's a family. You know, I have a family at home, and I need to love my band like I love my family at home. It's got to be that strong. And so when we did Undeniable, that was our first record as the unit that we are now, but it was still the same kind of writing.
I guess it's like a continuation of what you started with Blood for Blood.
Sort of, yes, completely. But with just fresher ideas and new songs. I mean, it was usually the process isn't that hard. You know, I sit with Vinny and we just work out a few songs to get a start, and then we take it to the studio and we finish and write everything, you know, in the studio and finish the record in the studio. And it was the first album that Kyle played on, first record that Brady played on, and we're very proud of it, you know. And it's a strong album. I love it.
Okay, so looking to the future, are you going to continue to work with Kevin Čurko?
Yes, I hope so, yes. I don't want to work with anybody else.
So he's like the sixth?
Kind of like the sixth member, yeah. I mean, like for me, producers, it's a loosely thrown around word. Because in my opinion, most producers are just glorified engineers. They know how to get good sounds, but a good producer to me is a composer who can bring ideas, who can help you rewrite your song 5 or 6 different ways. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's a good thing to have. I mean, I welcome feedback and I welcome other ideas. It just inspires me. And you might not like it, and you might like it. You just got to try it and see if it works. And so yeah, the next record, I'm sure we're going to be back in the studio with Kevin, and it's going to be just like what we're doing now, moving forward. Same heavy, up and down, you know, giving people a journey.
Your song Math has like 13 million views on YouTube.
Does it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right, that's good.
Did you know in the studio that you are working on something special with that song, and that it's gonna be single?
Definitely. I started writing that song at home, and took it into the studio, and I could tell when we were putting it together, it was just big. And then Chad, that was the first song Chad did vocals on, and he just nailed it. You know, it was great. I mean, we don't write songs for radio. We've gotten to the point where radio comes to us now, especially back in America. So we could take chances and kind of do things the way that we like to do them without feeling like we're writing for a specific thing. To me, that's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of premeditated. I don't like premeditation. I like coming off, you know, right off the cuff with it and being honest and organic.
It must come from the heart.
Heart must come from the heart, or not at all. Yeah.
Well, another very interesting song is your current single, Love Falls. Can you tell us a bit more about this song?
Yeah. Again, that song I wrote just the first chords of it probably 15 years ago. And like a lot of the things that I write, I'll record them and I'll put them away and I'll forget about it. And like my wife was going through a bunch of my shit one day and was just like, you know, listening to it. She's like, man, you need to do this song. Same thing with Moth, you know, and Hush too. But yeah, I just went to the studio with 2 chords. Dun 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 dun, right? Yeah. And it just took off. And we just built it. It was a lot slower originally, and then we just sped it. We pulled the tempo up and made it more, you know, a little faster. But it was great, you know. But that's how it happens, you know. It only takes one idea, And if it's an idea that everybody is behind and loves, then you can build it. Like decorating a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like that.
So would you say it's your favorite song on a new record?
They're all my favorite songs.
Yeah.
I love them all. Every single one of them, man. We're at the point now where if we don't love these songs, they're not going to get it on the record.
Yeah, there's no filler.
There's no filler. It cannot be that. And when I was talking to my producer, Kevin, he told me something that stuck with me. He said, you need to write and make records that people need.
Yeah.
They want those songs. It needs to be part of their lives. And Chad did too. Chad really opened up himself and started singing about himself and his own personal things. And when you start,
instead of partying
or metaphoric shit, you talk about things that you go through. Other people will relate to that. That's how people can, you know, get to tap into their heartbeat. So, yeah, that's how it came about. And same thing, you know, The Love Falls, his lyrics. You know, he's probably talking about relationships in his past. Every time he falls in love, it falls out of him. So it's kind of a sad, poor dude, you know, sorry. But other people, you know, can relate to that.
I also know that you played with some serious leg injury a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So is it everything all right now?
Yeah, I mean, my foot will never be the same, this one. I mean, I broke it like both sides, went in Munich.
And I guess you played sitting.
I did, yeah, I wasn't gonna stop.
It must have been interesting.
Well, I had to, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna sit back on my ass and do nothing, you know, I had to get out on tour, I had to rehab it, I had to walk as much as I could. And if it wasn't for that, I don't, you know, it made it stronger. So it's about 90% for the rest of my life.
Oh.
But it's about 100% of 90%. You know, meaning it's healed and it's good, but it's still never going to be as strong as it was before I broke it, obviously.
Yeah, I've heard that you said that they've done a great job with that.
Fantastic. I mean, the doctor in Munich put my foot back together flawlessly.
Yeah.
And when I went home, and I saw my doctor at home, and they examined it. They were like, "It's a wonderful job. They did great. Couldn't have done it any better themselves." They said, you know, and had a second surgery to have some of the screws taken out.
Yeah.
But I still have metal on this side with screws, and I have a bunch of screws in here too, holding it together. So, but it's whatever. Show must go on.
Yeah.
Sure does. So the last question: what are your plans for the next of the year?
The rest of this year, we're gonna go home after this tour, take a little break. Then we have some touring to do in the States. Then we'll take a break. And some more touring in the States and probably Canada. And then I believe we're working on going down to South America again and Australia. And once we finish that...
So you are already thinking about next album?
I'm already there, yeah. Yeah, I'm already thinking next record. I'm already starting to write, not quite there yet. I'm weird when it comes to writing music. It's like, I can't just do it. I mean, I can sit down and probably write a song every day, but it doesn't mean it's going to be any good. You know, and I really have to be, my head's got to be right. I got to want to write songs. You know, it's almost like your guitar calls you.
Yeah.
You know, and when I don't hear that call, it's not time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we are looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
My
your
pleasure.
time. Tom, Metalshop TV.
Metalshop TV.